Welcome to the Reddit Chronicles. Today we are reading from Relationship Advice. Our first post is by Butt Knuckles. My 26F husband's 30M best friend, 29M, just kissed me, and I'm unsure of what to do. I, 26F, am an immigrant that recently relocated to another country to be with my husband, 30M, after being long distance with him for several years. Needless to say, my husband is my best friend and I love him deeply. Because I've struggled making my own friends here, I am on friendly terms with my husband's friends. They are all for the most part decent people and welcomed me with open arms, which I am grateful for. We all occasionally hang out and it's never really been an issue. Recently, I began planning a surprise party for my husband's birthday, and I figured I would reach out to his friends about planning to see if they wanted to help. Enter my husband's best friend Adam, 29M. Adam has been my husband's friend for about 10 years now. Adam is married with a wife of his own who I am friends with. Adam immediately was very supportive of my ideas and was insistent on helping. Many times he offered to drive me around the city to go to different stores since my husband and I don't have a car, which I would decline since I didn't want to cause him any hassle. He would offer to use his place of work as the location for the party. He works at a fancy restaurant. Again, I would decline, because my husband isn't the type of person to enjoy birthday celebrations like that, but I would let him know I appreciated his kind offer and that I felt he was being a very kind and generous friend. He was fairly persistent, but I figured it was just because he wanted to make his friend's birthday memorable. Fast forward to this week, Adam texted me and told me he had his birthday gift for my husband, but he would need help loading it up in his car. I asked about what it was, but he just said a joke about how I would tell my husband, so I couldn't know. I didn't think anything of it and agreed to help him today. We drove to the store, got the gift, wrapped but it was big and heavy, and drove back. He put the car in park, and as I started getting out, he reached out to me and kissed me. I was taken aback and immediately pulled away. I asked him what he was doing, and he said that he thought I was cute and he wanted to shoot his shot. I asked him about my husband, and he said that he didn't need to know. I was just overwhelmed and couldn't begin to wrap my mind around what was happening. He apologized and said he thought I was sending signals because of me saying he was a kind and generous person. He then said that my husband can't know about it because my husband would blame me and would divorce me. I'd have to go back to my home country, etc. I got out the car and just went inside. My husband was at work, so he doesn't know. I have a lot of conflicting feelings. I know I want to tell my husband because of how Adam went about this proves that he doesn't have my husband's best intentions in mind and is incredibly selfish. My issue arises in how to go about telling him. I am super upset about this whole thing because it's a weird place to be in. I doubt my husband won't believe me because we have a good trust in each other, but I am nervous as to how this will affect the relationship. I'm nervous he will redirect those feelings of betrayal towards me. If that's the case, would it be justified? I just need some guidance on how to approach this for minimal damage to my husband. I know it's bound to happen, but I obviously don't want to hurt him if I can. I appreciate any advice. Update. Hi everyone. It's been a doozy over the last few days, and my post wasn't really all that popular, but I figured I'd update for those that may be curious. Before I go into big details, I just wanted to say thank you for your advice. My husband came home a few days ago, and I surprised him with his favorite meal. I had a day off and was a ball of nervous energy, so I had cleaned the house, did laundry, and cooked. Basically, I wanted the environment to be as stress-free as possible for my husband because I knew it was going to be hard on him. So, we sat down to eat, and he had been able to tell lately that something's been bothering me, and he asked me what was going on. So I told my husband as gently as I could, and he was understandably upset. Thankfully, Adam didn't get to him before I did, and he believed me. I know a lot of people were worried about Adam telling my husband lies about what had actually happened before I was able to, but this didn't happen, thankfully. He was really mad at Adam for kissing me, but especially mad at him threatening me with deportation. We talked it through, and after a few hours, came to the conclusion that, in order to protect my residency, we would file a police report for assault against Adam. Thank you to those who suggested this. As we talked, Adam sent me a text message that said this: "Hey, I just wanted to check in on you to make sure you remembered what I said to you in my car yesterday. I really don't want you to go back to home country. I've also been thinking of you. Call me when you get this. We have things we need to talk about." Yeah, creepy stuff plus low-key threats. It had my husband seeing red and me feeling scared, so we went to the police station the same night I told him. They seemed freaked out by Adam's most recent text and agreed it seemed like a veiled threat, so I filed a police report and they are investigating. As other Redditors pointed out, I wasn't the only victim in this situation. The next day, I texted Adam's wife when I knew Adam was working to see if she wanted to meet up, and she said sure. So, we met up and I told her what happened. I showed her the text and sadly, she didn't take it too well. It's understandable, but this is what I worried about. She seemed to think that I flirted with him, called me a home wrecker. I know this was probably out of lashing out, but it still made me feel bad, both for her and me for Adam putting us in this situation. It's sad I lost a friend. Shortly after I met with his wife, Adam started blowing up my phone, but I didn't answer. I assume his wife confronted him or the police called him. I'm not sure what set him off. He then sent me a bunch of texts that just got crazier and crazier to the point to where I didn't feel safe. So I called my husband who was at work, and he told me that Adam was also blowing his phone up too. We ended up calling the police because Adam was threatening to come to our apartment and do what he should have done when I was in his car. Satisfying ending, sort of. He was detained by police for making what they deemed a credible threat against me. It's still an ongoing situation, and I'm a bit upset by how this whole thing essentially blew up, but at least my family and I are okay. The most important thing I'm focusing on is recognizing that what happened isn't my fault and that I am a victim here. Also, therapy going forward. Overall, this experience has shown me how quickly people can change once they don't get their way. If you had told me a week ago that Adam was a nice guy TM, I would have laughed at you. As we went through Adam and I's very few interactions, my husband agreed that there wasn't any mixed signals. Adam had completely made it up in his head, or as some of you pointed out, was trying to take advantage of a woman in a vulnerable position. I am fortunate that I got the support and protection I needed. It's certainly a great way to start off a new life in a new country, that's for sure. Anyways, I wanted to say thanks for all the comments and support my last post got. My husband read the post and was thankful that I wasn't dealing with this situation by myself. Thanks, Internet. Also, shout out to my husband for literally handling this in the most amazing way. Lucky to have him, so give him some internet love. Our next post is by Adventuring Moth. I, 29F, just got married to someone I really love, 31M, but they suddenly changed right after the wedding. I am devastated right now. So my husband and I were dating for about 1.5 years before we got married. We just seemed perfect for each other, not that either of us is perfect, but we're a really good team, had common interests and goals in life, same sense of humor, communicate well, and encouraged each other to be better versions of ourselves. One night before getting married, we put all our goals on paper. We both agreed to them together and started to save up for them. These goals included having kids and starting a family, traveling to different places, getting a boat since he's really passionate about sailing and I want to support him and like it too, getting a nice house by the water, etc. So up until about a month after getting married, we were both talking about family planning and when the best time to get pregnant would be. He even suggested we start trying the next month. Well, a month goes by, and it slips out during a conversation that he doesn't want kids anymore, due to him not making enough money mainly, but then after I debunked that since we both make decent money, he says he just doesn't want them, and doesn't want to be a dad. In addition, all the plans we made together turned into him quitting his job, and sailing the world in a sailboat alone with his dog for the rest of his life. I was okay with voyaging and sure maybe even taking a year off here and there, but becoming a sea bum, it just sounds absolutely depressing. So I've been crying for the past week or so non-stop. For context, I'm Catholic and he is Christian, and we took traditional vows, including being open to life. He's gaslighting me, telling me I'm overreacting, it's not a big deal, there's plenty of other stuff to do in life than raise kids, people change. He also said he came to this conclusion over time, but that's a lie, since he was suggesting we start trying not even a month ago. I feel like such an idiot. How can you do that to someone and act like it's not a big deal? That's a major decision you make before marriage, plus setting flames to all our plans except his boat. I'm going to try and talk to him some more, but if he doesn't change, we'll seek annulment. Hoping he'll snap out of this. Any advice on how long I should wait for him, or if any guys on here went through a similar phase right after getting married? Thank you for listening to the Reddit Chronicles. Follow for more content.